Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Online Journal Day 297, all quiet on the Western Front. Things in my home have been good. I mean, I don't know how long that'll last, but this is the first long stretch where there hasn't been any real problems. Amy's not been perfect, but that's not what I need from her. She has been relaxed and attentive. She makes mistakes, but nothing has been treated like it's not important. She's not forgotten or disregarded doing things she should be doing. Our time together has also been pleasant. We done more chilling and relaxing, hanging out and just being in each other's company, though she has remarked that she would like me to spend more time with her, just her, as some of the times we hang out my Paris is there. Though Paris has largely been enjoying being up to her own devices on this mini vacation. I have not moved back to our bedroom, but I have slept in there quite a few times. To be honest, I think it's less my uncomfortableness with my wife and more the fact that it's been great to go to sleep and wake up with the same number of pillows under my head. Bed's got like 8 pillows. I go to sleep with 2, maybe 3. Wake up, she's got all the damn pillows. On top of that, her feet are like ice bricks. I realized something and had it confirmed when I brought it up to Amy later after talking to my therapist about it. It was never about my comfortability. I mean, yeah, I have my own things and all that. But I'm surprisingly chill about a lot of things. I'm even handling this situation a lot better than some might think. No, the issue is Amy's comfortability. She always seemed anxious, tightly wound or concerned. That always made me get anxious and concerned. I realize, and I told her, yes, I'm the wronged party. Yes, there is much you yourself have to deal with and worry about given my emotions. But damn it, if you don't relax, I can't relax. So, against a lot of advice, I just asked her to stop thinking about what she did and how it is affecting me. Don't even focus on not doing it again. Cause really if that takes effort then we're already screwed. No, just focus on improving. I've come to the conclusion that my wife has no idea what good or happy is. She has been good, things have been good, and she has been happy. But I don't think she understands what that state actually is. To Amy, things are good or happy in the absence of anything being wrong. Which in my opinion is the neutral state of being. Nothing is wrong, yes. No problems have arisen, so that's good. I mean, yeah, but that's just neutral. Good and happy should be actions, not the lack of actions. Stuff we do. Stuff we experience. Just sitting in a room with nothing going wrong is not my idea of happiness. So we've been doing stuff. We've both lost weight. I am down from almost the 320s to 218 pounds. I am thinner than I was in college. Though not as strong, I think. Amy has lost 68 pounds and is under 160 for the first time since I known her. I told her that she looked good and slapped her ass out of the blue, cause I was thinking it and said it and she damn near went to tears. She hugged me and said thank you and then asked if she could kiss me. And I kissed my wife, then I ducked my wife right there in kitchen. Was great. It's been a year now and the anniversary of some of the events have come and gone and both times I had to ask her what she was so tense about. I hadn't actively remembered the date while I was in it. Probably because I'm dealing with quite a lot of other things right now. But, I'm not irked. I have to say therapy has been valuable with the loss of my friend. I've gotten to the point where his mere mention doesn't knock me out. Amy and Paris have been super supportive this time. Especially Amy. That's all I have for you. I would talk about some burgers I made. But gonna make that a separate entree. It is so good to see your update and to see that everything is progressing. For the cold feet I would recommend you look up heated mattress pads if you do not have one already. I swear by them. Dual zone so the two of you can set your desired temp. I typically start mine a little under halfway, about an hour before I go to bed, then turn it down all the way to low when I go to bed. But in the north I could see it being a godsend. But other than that, I can sympathize with the pillows. My wife is still getting hot flashes, and even before that she hated me spooning her at night because she said it felt like a blast furnace hugging her at night. So she has built a great wall of pillows between us. Smile. I'm glad you are having peace. I hope soon that you both have happiness. Smile. So that's why you left that job. So, I'm writing this where no one will probably see it because I don't know where to put it. I have an artist friend, we'll call him Miami. He's a big guy, like me, about 6 feet 3 inches. But where I'm working out and getting in shape, this guy's built like a brick shit house. I mean, he's really intimidating looking. He has scars all over his arms and a pretty wicked one on his face. He looks all kinds of cool, like a Bond villain. But I can see why he immediately gets kind of a visceral reaction to new people. He looks, well, intimidating. Anyone who talks to him for 5 minutes will know he's a huge puppy. He has this kind of mix of an African and British accent, and is a huge nerd and just sweetheart. The guy is kind, honest, and a genuinely good person. Would give you the shirt off his back. Recently, while working together on a job, we began to talk about why he left the art department of a studio he worked at. He sighed and he tells me he'd left years ago, though I'd thought he'd worked there as recently as last year. But apparently he left before COVID. He lamented how hard it is to understand American women. He was born in Africa, but was raised in Britain. I asked him what happened and he said he'd quit and had to sue the company. He won, but they settled out of court. I asked what the hell happened. And he said he was accused of raping one of his co-workers. Which gave me pause. I was like, really? He sighed and said yup. Apparently one of his co-workers flirted with him all the time. She was a pretty girl, blonde, green eyes, and he described her as very attractive. But he would consistently turn her down. Eventually at a company party, she got drunk and got a little too fresh with him and he turned her down again, but rather embarrassingly. He said she had been rubbing on the front of his pants and he had a bad reaction. She apologized later that night and he was the designated driver, taking 4 people home, including her. Though he said she wasn't the last person he dropped off. Later rumors about them started to surface, and eventually a story started going around that something else happened that night. It started being said that apparently he visited her that night and he took advantage of her. He says he thinks the story evolved from her trying to save face, claiming something did happen between them that night, but then people started questioning her decision making or whatever and how right it would be to sleep with someone as drunk as she apparently was. He dismissed it a bunch of times, but said the story just wouldn't go away. Someone, apparently not the woman, filed an HR complaint against him. Though he says she claims it wasn't her, it was done anonymously in her name. HR got involved. She was embarrassed, so she didn't. Says he made up the story, but tried to say that though she was drunk it was consensual. He vehemently denied it. He laughed and told me, he not only didn't sleep with her, but her story was impossible for a number of reasons. He said the HR lady wasn't having it and things escalated to the point where they were trying to fire him. He had to get a lawyer. He said they eventually let him go and he sued them. He said the girl wouldn't press charges, but the job was all fire and brimstone. So he sued them for false termination, as they said he was let go for creating a hostile work environment and sexual harassment. He laughed, and said it was a quick arbitration. He promised to sue the girl personally in the company, and during the whole debacle a few truths came out. He said he refused her flirting because he literally can't do anything about it. He doesn't have the equipment. Apparently the scars all over his body are from his childhood in Africa. I learned that he had been mutilated as a kid. He told me a very, very sad and disturbing story of his flight from his home and how he had been found after his family had been killed by British missionaries. He was found by British missionaries, his family had been killed by mercenaries. He said they were African, both black and white. He doesn't know why they raised his village. He couldn't rape anyone cause he'd had his areas mutilated as a kid. There wasn't anything to interfere with anyone with. He laughed and said he has to piss with a catheter. Not something I expected to hear. I asked him why the hell he's so happy all the time. He shrugged and said he lived. He got to escape where many others didn't. He was taken in by a lovely family and the Lord answered his prayers. He said he lives every day blessed. I'd have been pissed at the whole world. Once this little medical miracle came out, the pressure was on the woman because he was going to sue her for defamation or something. She went and told the company she made it all up. They also got the information and they settled out of court. Of course the woman was fired, but the HR lady apparently got fired too, as she didn't do her due diligence. Turns out she had never even talked to the last person he dropped off in the carpool. He didn't tell me how much he had won. Oddly enough, he was cheerful about the whole thing. He said he did like the woman, but he has nothing to offer her, or any woman. So he's uncomfortable with that kind of attention. Gotta be honest, I don't know how that man smiles every day. If I had a body like that, and a smile like that, but couldn't benefit from it, I'd be angry all the time. But yeah, that's what it is. You're a saint, I am a. Holy. What a shit show that guy has been through. I am amazed at his ability to be happy. Like you, I would be angry too. It is so awful what happens in South Africa, and a lot of those countries. And it is in reverse too. A lot of white people are murdered in the street in broad daylight with tons of people around, and nothing is really done. I had a friend who went to Zimbabwe for a year, and she was warned before she left that the racism against whites was awful, and to watch her surroundings and be with lots of people she knows at all times when out, since rape and such are done right in the open there as often as every few minutes. And as you learned, the sexual assault is not only women, men are raped, beaten, mutilated too. Honestly, I can sort of understand the anger of the native people there towards white people. They went through so many awful things at the benevolence of white people there. Anyways, it is amazing that your friend can stay so positive. I think I wrote something in a bad way. He was found by the British missionaries after his family had been killed. He said the people who killed his family and destroyed his village were mercenaries. They were all African, both white and black. He says he was too young to remember what they wanted, but they wanted the entire village to just leave and attacked after they refused. He was 7. Rereading it, it sounded like the British missionaries killed his family. No, they are the ones that saved him and took him to Britain. Sad but great story, thanks. Hopefully he got enough that the only reason he is still working is his passion for art.